Hello bookish besties and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 10 of the most binge-worthy books that I think are necessary to read for any reader, especially if you're in a book slump, if you're in a rut, or if you're just looking for something to consume and obsess over. These are the books that are going to do it. A lot of these I read within 24 hours or only a few days, which is really fast for me. They have fast-paced plots and really easy consumable stories. They have great characters and really great worlds that they're in, and all of these are so interesting and probably different from some of the mainstream books, but some of them also do give that comforting regularity of some books in categories such as romantasy or thriller. We've got a really wide range of genres. We've got a wide range of like plots and tropes. I think any reader can read these at any time and be obsessed with them. Like I said, I do recommend if you're in a slump or if you just need something to binge read, because sometimes you get a craving in a mood, as you do with like snacks or other things like that, and you just want something that's going to fulfill that need in you, something quick, something cringy, something corny, something just bingeable. So let's go through my top 10 books that I think are binge-worthy right now. Let's start with Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Now, V.E. Schwab has very purple prosy, insightful writing, and I really love this one. I would describe it as like kind of like a Coraline-esque world. There are ghosts, there are ghouls, there's a girl that's outcasted, there's a secret dimension. I would say it's a mix between Coraline and The Secret Garden. So it's got another dimension of this house, there's like evil beings, there's a garden. It's very sad in the end. So I read this within 24 hours. Again, it's short, so that really helps. It was so bingeable because you just want to know what she's seeing, the mystery of the plotline with her mother, and what this other dimension slash world is, and also what her family knows, because she's an outcast, she was in an orphanage, and now she's with her aunt and uncle, and they have like secrets about this alternate world that she's going into. Just imagine it as like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. That's definitely what this is. So I do recommend this one. Then we're gonna have a very typical tropey paranormal romantasy, and that is Broken Bonds by Bree. I think this entire series is bingeable. I read this first book so quick. They're on Kindle Unlimited, so they're very, very fast reads. This is a reverse harem. We have Oleander, which is our girl, and in this world, you like send your DNA out for genetic testing, and it pairs you with your bonded, which are people you're meant to be with. And she has this crazy power that we don't get to learn until like the second book, and she's running away from her bonded, and they finally find her, and they're not happy with her, so they're not very nice to her in the beginning, a little bit of a bully romance, and then it turns into her discovering who she is and how she fits into the relationships with these 5 men, and then there's a whole world that kind of builds on top of this. There's like different evils, there's different powers, there's different people that want her because she's special, and I love Oleander. This is extremely bingeable. Like I said, it's a paranormal romantasy, so her and the 5 men that she's paired with, they all have powers, and all of the men are so different. You have a lot of your typical like male tropes in here, so you have like the one that's quiet and caring, you have the bad boy, you have like the stark sophisticated one that follows the rules, you have a little bit more of the free living jock. It's just very interesting to see how many different men she's like paired with and how she has a different relationship with all of them. Then we have Caraval by Garber. I read this one recently and I absolutely tore through this. I just think the premise of the book is so interesting. So we have Scarlett and Donatella, they're sisters, and Scarlett has always wanted to go to Caraval, which is like this mysterious man named Legend, and it's supposed to like be a game where like you can win and you win a wish and like all your dreams come true in this. So I really liked that Garber had fairy tale-esque writing. It reminded me of being in a Disney movie or like just in any Disney world, like the way she would describe buildings and the settings. It reminded me a lot of like Beauty and the Beast. The romance in this one is okay. The really driving thing in this is the plot. So she's trying to find her sister Donatella. She does enter Caraval and her sister goes missing. Julian's like leading her through this and you're not really sure what his role is, but Scarlett's trying to figure out and follow these clues in this world where like nothing is what it seems and magic is everywhere. The story just progresses from there. Like I said, the plot is so fast paced. It just makes you want to keep reading because basically every chapter ends on a cliffhanger where you want to know what happened to Donatella, what these clues and secrets mean, and what legend is kind of hiding from the both of them. And then also Julian is suspicious, so you're trying to figure out his role in all of this as well. So I really enjoyed this one. If you want a quick, like, fairy tale-esque, fun, whimsical game, then this is definitely the one. Then we're moving in a complete opposite direction. We have Bunny by Mona Awad. The sequel, which is technically like a prequel and sequel, is coming out to this one in September. When I read this, I was so thoroughly confused. This is basically reading a fever dream. Like, you are constantly immersed in what the main character is doing and feeling, but it is a fever dream. We have Samantha and she's in this writing program and she's like kind of in a rut and like not doing very well. And there's this group of girls in her one writing class. They call themselves the Bunnies, and they have like a writing group and they're always together. And the premise of this is like they have a hive mind, and she kind of winds up joining their like creative writing group, and things get really outlandish and weird. And the ending to this is like you're just sitting there like not understanding what the words are saying because it just doesn't feel like, it feels like you are like tripping this entire time. And I really can't give you any more information than that, but like I binge read this so fast because I just wanted to know what the hell was going on and I couldn't figure it out, and then all of a sudden these pieces started falling together and you're like, oh my god. Once you get to the end, you like kind of put all the pieces together and you finally understand what's going on. I highly recommend this one. It's just kind of like weird girl lit and very like introspective and talking a lot about mental health and stuff like that, so I really liked this. Then we have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This is a thriller. Our main character goes to her Nana's house for Halloween, which is also her Nana's birthday, and her Nana's quirky. She likes to serve candy for dinner, all this stuff, but she's in really bad standing with her family. They're like spending a little bit of time together, kind of like arguing a lot over a lot of different things. So someone will die every hour and there's like kind of like a cryptic message and like riddle that's written out for them, and they keep getting these clues like to find out this like big mystery, and then in the end the twist is crazy. I can't give you more than that because the twists never get me. I always figure them out, but this twist got me and I could not recover from this. I was literally jaw on the floor. So if you just want, again, a fast-paced, twisty thriller that's going to not confuse you but take you back in time through like a mysterious story, it's extremely page turning. So I love this one, and the atmosphere is so good. It's like this kind of like old mansion and they're like flooded in and it's nighttime and spooky things are going on. Then we obviously have a fan favorite, and by fan favorite I mean my favorite, is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I love this book and trilogy so much. I have to read Scythe and Sparrow soon because I have not yet. But Butcher and Blackbird was my first 5-star of 2024, I think. And I have not looked back since. I will read anything this woman writes. So this is about Rowan and Sloane. They are serial killers that kill other serial killers, and they meet in some unexpected circumstances and they form this friendship, and then Rowan kind of like falls in love with Sloane in the beginning and wants to keep seeing her. So he has his brother set up this game for them where the brother Lachlan will find serial killers for them to go hunt. So he will send Rowan and Sloane to like just a general location, and they have to put the pieces together and figure out, one, who the serial killer is, and 2, kill the serial killer before the serial killer kills them, and 3, beat the other one to the mystery. And so they have a game, and it kind of takes place over a span of years and then goes into a consistent timeline where they're interacting with all these different serial killers. So it is messed up, it is twisty, it is so much fun, and the ending is so mind-blowing. And again, I'm going to use the word twisty because you don't know like the difference between up and down. You're so confused, and then everything clicks together, and it is so phenomenal. I loved it. And then one that I recently binge read is Sunrise on the Reaping. No surprise, Susan Cohen is a classic by now, and this is Haymitch's story in the Hunger Games. Not only was it extremely fast-paced because we already knew the characters, the world is already developed for us through the other books and the movies as well, but the love between Haymitch and Lenore Dove kept this story going in the first half, and all of the political, like, screwed up things that we saw the Capitol doing, and then as soon as you hit the actual Hunger Games that he goes into, the story flies, and then the ending is just heartbreaking. So when you're going into this, please know what you're going into, because it's so sad, but it's so worth the time spent. This is another short one, and obviously it's YA, so it's very easy to read, but again, the love in this, the quotes you get out of this, Haymitch is such a sweetheart, and just everything bad imaginable happens to this poor boy. All you want to do is give him a hug. So read this if you've read obviously the rest of the books, and just give Haymitch some love. Now I'm going to talk about my current read / my current reads for a while. This is a series I think is very bingeable, and that is the Kindred's Curse Saga by Penn. So I've read Spark of the Everflame and Glow of the Everflame. Now I'm on this chunker, which is Heat of the Everflame. This is over 1,000 pages on Kindle, but I think it's like 800 to 900 physical copy. These are so binge-worthy. These are your typical, not typical, are reminiscent of your typical romantasy books, but I think they have such a fun spin on them, and they're not really that predictable. And this is the slowest slow burn to ever have slow burned. I have gone through like 1,500 pages of this couple, and they have barely kissed. So if you want something that is achingly slow burn, please read this one. This is about DM and our other main character, Luther. DM she's a mortal healer, and she is kind of just living her life with her best friend, Henry. One day she sees her mom with a descended, which is a person that descends from the Kindred, which are the gods. The gods fell in love with mortals, and they created the Descended. And the Descended are seen as a higher class than the mortals, so they treat the mortals like absolute garbage, which is horrible. And that's DM's like one thing she wants to kind of eradicate in her life. So she sees her mom with the Descended, and then her mom disappears. And she's kind of just going through this journey of like self-discovery. So she begins taking over for her mom as the castle crown healer, and she starts discovering some weird things about herself. She discovers an attraction towards Luther, and she also kind of like joins this rebel group where she's trying to decide whose life is more important, a mortal or descended, or whether they're both important, and she wants to stop everybody from dying. So I'm on book 3 now, and things have picked up crazily. Even with the slow parts where they're just like either traveling or, you know, nothing's really going on, I still really enjoy the writing, and I really enjoy DM as a character. She's fiery, she's feisty, she takes no shit from anybody, and I just think this series is so worth it. The last 2 books are books I don't own physically. The first one is Face Off by Chelsea Curto, and this is a hockey romance spicy book. It is between the captain of the DC Stars, Maverick Miller, and Emerson Hartwell, who is the first woman to be on an NHL team, and I love that. He goes from a playboy to just a complete head over heels fool for her, and she kind of not leads him along, but makes him work for it and makes him actually prove to her that he's going to be loyal and actually likes her. And just the way this man is like basically touch her and die, because obviously he's a hockey player, he's gonna beat someone up for her. And the found family in this between the one, Emerson and her like girl group that goes out, and 2, the entire like DC Stars team, including like their publicity, their photographer, like any of those kind of people, and anybody's spouses, is so sweet. The hockey players had such distinct personalities that you could like tell each one apart, and I absolutely love this. There's more in the series that I want to get to, but it was extremely fast-paced because you just want to know how things play out. You want to get through the slow burn. There's like some teasing, and it's just so good. I highly recommend this as just a fast-paced hockey romance that you're going to read on Kindle Unlimited. It's so good. Then our last one is another thriller. It's The Last House on Needless Street, and I read this one a very long time ago, probably like closer to 2 years now, and I still think about how screwed up the ending was, and we all like that gruesome shock factor. So this is about like a man that lives in this house by himself, but his cat talks to him, and there's also like a little girl in his house somehow. And so you go through, this little girl went missing and everyone thinks it's him because he's very quiet and recluse and kind of mentally ill, and his mother died, so he's alone now. And it's again another very fever dreamy one where you don't really know what's going on until some things start to click and you kind of relive his trauma with him and start understanding different things about him. Then everything clicks, and there's also kind of like a murder mystery kind of thing going on, as well as like mental things going on with him. So it was so interesting. If you want another like mind-fucky freaky one, this is definitely it. It is twisted, so please read like the trigger warnings and stuff like that. Very twisted, very trauma-based, very mental illness-based as well. So like I said, check your trigger warnings for that one, but again, phenomenal. So those are all of my top 10 books that I think are extremely binge-worthy and I think you should read if you're in a slump or just looking for something to obsess over for a little while. These are really fast-paced, short books that you can do in a 24-hour reading vlog or just any sprints or 24-hour reading challenge. It's so much fun. You can read them over a weekend, get some more reads in for the rest of March, or even just get some quick reads in for the beginning of April. If you have any more suggestions for binge-worthy books, please leave them in the comments. If you don't know what to say, then let's leave an orange heart emoji down in the comments for our little persimmon orange dragon over here. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future bookish content and to be besties with me, obviously. Happy reading, and as always, love you. Bye.